Okay, this video is gonna be me talking about what we might expect from Grand Theft Auto 6. This was inspired because I, at the beginning of the year, bought Grand Theft Auto 4 and replayed it. I had originally played it in like 2008 or 9. A friend brought it over. Well, he was playing it. I was watching him play it, and I might have played it a little bit. And I wanted it, and so I talked to my family about buying it, and they got it for my birthday, but they got episodes of Liberty City, so it was actually only the 2 DLCs. And I didn't get the actual game until like 2 years later, and then when I had it, me and my cousin were playing it, and one of us knocked over my fucking console, and the fucking disc got all fucking damaged and shit, so I couldn't finish it at the time. I was like about halfway through the game at that point. Well, not quite, but I was in the middle, like, city area. And I had just recently killed Playboy X. I want to say I had started working for Ray, and that's like where I had to stop. Ironically, I also never owned Red Dead Redemption, but I ended up getting Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. It's weird how that fucking shit works out. So I bought GTA 4 just to replay it. So my predictions of Grand Theft Auto 6 are mostly going to be based off of that and Red Dead Redemption 2. I have played Grand Theft Auto 5. I played it back when it released. I played it for like 4 months and then never touched it again just because, for whatever reason, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did all the other Grand Theft Autos. Probably just because they put such a focus on online and I didn't have anyone to play online with for the most part. Or my cousin, and yeah. So it's mostly going to be me talking about the perspective of that, as well as referencing the other games, of course, with my experiences with them. So I've given a lot of thought to what it's going to be like. And like I said, I touched Grand Theft Auto 5 last in 2013, 2014, so I don't remember a lot of what it had in comparison to GTA 4. But it's mostly the same gameplay with only a few differences, so I should be able to make pretty accurate predictions. So to start with, as far as like your body, they started the weapon wheel, I believe, in GTA 5. And of course, it's in Red Dead 2 also. Well, actually, I think they started that in Red Dead Redemption. I haven't played Undead Nightmare in forever. I think they started the weapon wheel in Red Dead Redemption and then brought it into GTA 5. So I think that'll be the same, and much like Red Dead 2, I don't think you'll be able to hold all of your weapons on your person anymore. I think what they're going to do is you're going to be able to hold like a gun on a holster on your side or in your pants or something. And you might be able to strap another one or a submachine gun or something, Uzi or Mac 10 or something on your waist. And you might be able to hold like a knife. And other than that, you'll be able to have probably 2 long guns just like in Red Dead 2. You'll probably be able to have like you could have a fucking carbine, assault rifle, or you could have, a rifle or a shotgun or however you want that set up. And I think rather than like in Red Dead 2, how your horse can hold all your shit, I think you'll have your shit in the trunk of your car. You'll get out of your car, you go around to the trunk, lift the trunk, and that'll be where all your shit is, and that'll be where your character pulls your guns and shit out from. So for that to work, they're probably gonna keep the like insurance vehicle thing they had going on in GTA 5, where each character has like a vehicle that's their vehicle. It'll be like the Red Dead horse, how you have your horse pack, and if you move that from one horse to another horse, it has all your shit. I think it'll be something like that, where if you have insurance on a vehicle, that vehicle has all your shit in it. So, you know, all the guns you ever bought and stuff will be in that trunk. I want to say there was a trunk thing in GTA 5 on missions or something where you could fuck with the trunk, but I haven't touched it in so long I don't remember completely. It is a thing, though, in Red Dead 2. You can shoot the back of the stagecoaches and get shit out of those. So I think that will be the first big change. And I feel pretty confident about that. The whole, like, not holding 30 guns on your person seems like a pretty reasonable step for them to take. They're always trying to look to make the games more grounded. And I appreciate that to a full. And I'm going to get into that also. Because there's a lot of things that they could do with the game that wouldn't be good. But to keep talking about what is good, I think the gameplay is mostly going to be the same. The look is mostly going to be the same. There's... After GTA 5's massive leap from, like, the very basic controls of GTA 3 to the super advanced fucking physics and the warping of cars as they get damaged and all that shit, they couldn't really do a lot from that with GTA 5, and they didn't. They updated it, it felt a little sleeker, but it was mostly the same. Because there's just not a lot left you can do. That's an issue with most video games today. If you compare, like, video games in the 90s and early 2000s, which all were very different and very unique and had to be built different ways because technology was so much simpler then, there was so little you could do. Today, if you play a third-person shooter and you play 10 different third-person shooters, they're all pretty much going to feel the same. Especially if you drive vehicles and shit in them. They all pretty much feel the same. Same thing with first-person shooters, especially first-person shooters. They all pretty much feel the same and play the same and are the same. And that's just the unfortunate outcome of technology becoming as advanced as it is. So, the warping of cars, the driving, all that shit will be mostly the same, I think. One thing they could do that it would be really cool is if they added in seasons. I would love it if there was like a winter season. Every 30 in-game days you change season or something. And there'd be like a winter season and you'd be driving and there'd be snow. And you could hit snow or you could fucking hit black ice and fucking slide off the road or something. That'd be fucking crazy. Some people might not like that too much. And yeah, if you're doing missions and here comes the winter season and you gotta chase someone in a car, that could fuck some shit up. So it might not be a great idea, but who knows. It'd also be weird. If you run over a fire hydrant and there's water going everywhere, I would expect in GTA 6 the water would actually sit there. But would it freeze? That'd be something to look into, making water freeze. Also, with rain, hydroplaning. Water makes it harder to drive in GTA 4 and 5 especially. But I don't think you actually hydroplane ever. If they could do hydroplaning, that'd also be pretty cool. If they could make, like, water pool up. That'd be a lot of work. Fuck. I seem to remember there being one of the Grand Theft Autos where if you sat there and you fucking did a burnout on your tires where you're fucking braking and driving at the same time, your tires would explode. I thought that was GTA 4, but I tried doing that and it never happened, so it might have been GTA 5, I'm not sure, or I just didn't do it long enough. That'd also be pretty cool, wear on the tires and stuff. But that brings me to the potential negatives of what we see as far as gameplay is concerned, without getting into story and all that shit. Just talking about gameplay. The driving and the stars. I'm not a fan of GTA 4 and 5's toning down of the star system. This conversation is going to take me all over the place. I'm going to get lost when I'm talking about. Fuck. Okay, so like, let me give my history before I talk about this. Okay, I was introduced to Vice City. It's my favorite Grand Theft Auto game. First one I ever beat. I played it in San Andreas pretty much at the same time. My cousin introduced me to both of them. I got the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Collection, which is 3 Vice City and San Andreas. I played the fuck out of Vice City and San Andreas, beat both of those. I played Grand Theft Auto 3 and ended up stopping just because it's so hard to play that. It's so old. The vehicles are damaged so easily. I think the only way to beat it, as far as I'm concerned, is to find all the hidden packages so that you have all your guns and shit. But yeah, I never beat GTA 3, and obviously I beat 4, the episodes, and 5. Didn't play. I played a little bit of Liberty City Stories because my cousin had it. I have not played Vice City Stories. I don't even know if there's a fucking San Andreas Stories or not. But so, that being said, GTA 3 being really hard, I don't think I ever went past 3 stars in that. Because you really can't. It's too easy to fucking get killed. It's so hard to kill everything. I've been to 6 stars in Vice City because there is a mission where you have to do it. That's really hard. And in the older games, San Andreas and Vice City, when you get 6 stars, I think I also had 6 stars in San Andreas at one point. 1 is Police, 2 is Police Lethal Force, 3 in the older games is, I think, I don't remember if it was helicopters, because that's the more modern one, or if SWAT teams get... I think SWAT teams were always taken out at 4. 3, I think, is when you start seeing the spike strips. And, yeah, helicopters. I think. No. What? I can't remember if they have police helicopters or not now. It's been such a fucking long time. But 4 definitely had SWAT, and then 5, you would see the Army. The Army would show up, they all have assault rifles, they start shooting the shit out of you. And then 6, you start seeing tanks, and it's, you know, you're dead at that point. There's nothing you can do. And that was really over the top and crazy, but it's that's fun, and that seems somewhat reasonable. In Grand Theft Auto 4, 1 is police, 2 is police using lethal violence, shooting at you, 3 is helicopter, 4 SWAT teams, 5 is military intervention. 4 can also bring the FIB. But usually it's SWAT teams. And then 6 is you have 2 Annihilators with the fucking SWAT teams in them. And the Annihilators can't shoot their miniguns, obviously. And I always felt like it was kind of disappointing because they can't really stop you at that point. I used to do police chases all the time in GTA 4. Police chases, police fights, rampages, and shit. Because it's so easy. Because the more grounded gameplay of being able to shoot someone in the fucking head and just have them die makes everything so easy. And I love that. It's so nice. But man, it makes rampages fucking easy. Especially when someone's bringing a helicopter and you just shoot the pilot in the head and it just fucking falls down. Oh my god. And so... when the GTA 5 was coming, I was really hoping they would bring, like, back the military. Not tanks, obviously, but have the National Guard or something. And, again, it's been forever since I played GTA 5, and I never went on very many rampages. I'll get into what I didn't like about Grand Theft Auto 5 later, but I never went on too many rampages. I mostly stuck to the story in that game. It was the most story-focused I ever was in the Grand Theft Auto. I think it goes 1, police, 2, police lethal force, 3, helicopter, 4, I think is SWAT teams, and FIB, and then 5 was, I think they would bring in a SWAT helicopter and it would, like, deploy people from a line, if I'm not mistaken. And I hated that they got rid of number 6, because it's like, this is... 6 is supposed to be you're fucking dead. They're going to stop you. It's over. Your rampage is done. And I just kind of felt like it was disappointing that I only went up to 5. It's so easy to get to 5. So if they go back to a 6, I'm trying to get back on track. If they go back to 6-star system, I would like to at least see the National Guard like deployed and have like soldiers coming in with fucking military grade shit. I don't know how you could make them better than SWAT. Because I think that's why they stopped, because the SWAT's already in like full fucking armored gear. So I don't know that you could make them any better, but I don't know. Maybe just National Guard comes in with a fucking armored vehicle, fucking APC or something with a fucking machine gun on it, and it deploys like 15 guys or something. I don't know. But this is going to take me into my talking about the star system. What was the other thing I was going to say? Fuck! I want to say something other than the star system. I want to talk about some other aspect. I can't remember. Fuck. But the star system. Oh, yeah, the law enforcement in general. Okay. So what a lot of people would assume they're going to go for is speeding tickets, running red lights, stuff like that. Speeding, going on the speed limit, driving recklessly. Most people would assume that's going to be the next thing that gets you stars. And there are two directions I want to take with this. One, well, in general, that thought process is incredibly stupid, and I'm going to explain why. One, you would be getting stars constantly. You would either have to have no police patrols ever, or you would completely have to rework the way the police system works. The GTA 4 and 5, there's a circle, you get out of the circle, you escape. That circle would have to be so fucking small if you were goddamn getting one every time you ran a red light or every time you went over the fucking speed limit. And that being a 1-star offense would then mean that killing someone or getting in a car accident or something would need to be like a 2-star offense. And then killing a police officer would need to be a 3-star offense. And you would need at least like a 10-star system now for the fucking plethora of goddamn ways you would be able to fucking acquire stars. I enjoy the being able to escape your pursuers. I've always really enjoyed that over the... Because in the old game, it would be like, in Vice City especially, I think if you honked at a police car, you'd get automatic 2 stars. And you'd have to find a goddamn bribe star to goddamn lose it. In San Andreas, I remember they improved it, and if you had only 1 star, it would go away eventually, but if you had 2, it was permanent. I don't remember if they had a bribe thing in that or not. I think they had to, because there's no way you couldn't escape it, but that shit just got so annoying. So when Grand Theft Auto 4 comes around and introduces a way to escape them, that made the game so much simpler to play. So yeah. Speeding and running red lights and shit would just make the game obnoxious. Incredibly fucking obnoxious. Either you take forever playing the game following fucking the traffic laws, which no one's gonna fucking do. Because that's not the point of the game. The point of the game is to have fun doing crazy shit you can't actually do in real life. You don't want a real life simulator. That's fucking pointless. So I don't think they're going to do that, but a lot of people would assume they would do that, and I'm just trying to explain why you wouldn't see that. I don't think Rockstar would do that, because that would just be incredibly fucking stupid. It'd be such a step backwards. It'd be authentic, but it wouldn't be fun, it wouldn't be practical, it'd just be obnoxious, like I said. So I don't think we're going to see that. However, one thing I do think we'll see in in Red Dead Redemption 2, when you commit a crime, a person sees it, they run off to go get a sheriff. I think in GTA 6, when you commit a crime, if there's not a police officer around, I think people will get on phone to call the police, and you can probably shoot them to avoid the police being alerted to you. And if they are alerted, then I think it'll be similar to Red Dead, where like you have a circle, and if you escape from that circle, they won't find you, but they'll be looking in that circle for you and stuff. I think we'll see that, which will be interesting. However, for the phone call to the police to be feasible, Rockstar would have to make the police spawn a lot less than they do, because they are always on the streets in Grand Theft Auto everywhere. You rarely find a spot where police officers don't spawn. So I don't see that one. I can see happening. It's just they would have to balance. There would be no reason for them to be able to call the police if the police are already there and they see you. So that mechanic would only be practical if they made the police spawn a lot less. Which I personally wouldn't mind. It gets obnoxious when you're doing a mission and you're shooting at somebody and then the police start shooting you in the back. Gasoline, wear and tear on the cars. That's what I wanted to talk about. A lot of people probably would like there to be gasoline in the vehicles. Then you can refuel them and stuff. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate like wear and tear on the vehicle. Like I said, the tires wear down, your car breaks down, the engine, all that. You could do that. But at the same time, it's obnoxious. If you're in the middle of a chase on a mission and you run out of fucking gas and you fail the mission because you run out of gas, that, again, is just something that's obnoxious and didn't need to be there to begin with. Again, we're not needing a real-life simulator. It's supposed to be fun. It's just supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be an escape, You're angry driving and following the rules of the road and fucking having idiots all day, so when it happens in the game, you can just break loose and just go crazy and do whatever the fuck, That's the point of it. It's supposed to be a cathartic release of all that shit that you get in daily life. So I don't think we'll see that. I wouldn't mind the wear and tear. It's not necessary. It's already enough when you're being shot at and people pop your tires and shit, and you hit your car, now your tire's fucking sideways, so your car's constantly grinding and turning like that. That's already good enough. Adding on to the weather thing. Aside from rain and hydroplaning and black ice and slipping on snow and shit, another thing that'd be really good is high winds. I think... Let me skip ahead for a second. I think most people are going to expect GTA 6, since it's VI, or that's going to be GTA Vice. VICE, 6, CE, Vice. And it'll take place in Vice City. And Vice City is my favorite game, so I would enjoy being back in Vice City, personally. And since it's Miami, it would be a perfect thing if there was a hurricane, like every once in a blue moon. Crazy high winds that just blow your fucking car all over the fucking road and shit. That would be fucking some shit. I don't want to say it'd be cool, because again, in a mission, it'd be really annoying. But just playing the game and fucking around and having that happen would be really cool. Getting back on track. The vehicles. I think I've covered all that. Being able to break into the windows and hotwire the vehicles was a huge step up, because finding a locked vehicle in the original games fucking sucked. So that was a huge step up in my opinion. Uh, I don't think they need to bring back the shoot the gas can and make something explode. That's just kind of a cheap way to do that. I say after saying I love the headshot thing, but I think that's different. Um, let's talk about bodies. I really hope they keep and add on to the gore and like limb damage and body damage of Red Dead Redemption 2. Um, I've always been a big proponent of that. I love the more realistic violence where if I shoot someone in the head, they have like a hole there and I can see where I'm hitting them and stuff. When you shoot someone with a shotgun in the arm, it blows their arm off and stuff like that. I really enjoy stuff like that. I always liked it in older games where if I shot someone, I'd be able to see the bullet holes and see where I hit them and stuff. I love if you shoot someone like in the arm, they drop their gun. You shoot them in the leg, they like limp because they have their leg fucked up. I really wish if you shot them in both legs in these games, they'd stay on the ground, not be downed, but like have to be like crouched or prone and have to shoot and stuff. And I don't know, you shoot them in the arm and maybe they pass out or something. I also like that you can knock someone down and not kill them. That's nice. So I just like to see. In Red Dead, if you shot someone in the leg, they would limp. In Red Dead 2, they don't really limp as much. And in Red Dead, you could shoot someone in the arm and they would drop their gun and wouldn't get it back. And in Red Dead Redemption 2, you can't do that from what I've seen. You can make them drop their long gun, but you can't shoot like their handgun out of their arm, the revolver, which I don't get why they took that out. So I would like to see that come back with GTA 6. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see you be able to blow the limbs off and stuff. I'd like to see you be able to like kneecap a motherfucker and they can't get up. That would be a huge step in the right direction, I think. Since it's Rockstar, they could also add in a fucking dick shot where you shoot a guy in the dick and he just falls down and is bleeding out or something goofy. Red Dead Redemption 2 also has like a neck shot thing. And recently I noticed they had a thing where I shot someone in like the heart and he like was bleeding out and walking away and then he fell down and died. I didn't notice that the first year I played it, and I've been on and off with Red Dead 2. I don't know if that was in an update or if I just never gotten that before, but that was pretty neat. So stuff like that I'm for. I hope to see more of that. The only reason they can't do it maybe is because Grand Theft Auto is such a big game with so many models, so stuff like that might be too much for the game to handle. I don't know. Vice City is like the smallest map. So if they don't make the map any bigger, then they could probably do it. But I don't know. I think a lot of people would complain if it isn't a much bigger map. But I've never been to Miami, so I don't really know anything about that. What else? Oh, I just had something pop in my head. Maybe body armor. You can like actually put on the body armor. In GTA 5, they kind of do that when you do the Trevor's bank rob on like a small town. You're in like a bodysuit. But I'm talking like if you buy an armored vest, maybe you have to actually put that on. I don't know. That could be a bit obnoxious. I don't know. It would. It'd be nice because it'd only block shots that hit that, but I'm sure there's people who wouldn't like that. I don't know how I feel about it. It just popped into my head as something to think about. Um, I'm trying to think if I have anything else to talk about. Predictions, gameplay wise, before I get on to story and characters. Um, The aiming, I imagine, will be mostly the same. Well, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't been with GTA 5, so I don't know how the first person stuff is. I've played a little first person in Red Dead 2, but not much, because for me, Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead are third person games. I imagine they'll keep that. I don't know. So I don't know if the aiming is going to be any different or not. I wouldn't imagine it would be. For me, I don't play with the assisted thing. I always play with the free aim. So, in GTA 4, they have like a circle with the dot. In fucking Red Dead 2 and in GTA 5, I remember they just had the dot. So I imagine I'll be having that. In both GTA 5 and Red Dead 2, I think they have a hit marker where if you hit someone, you get a little thing that lets you know they hit them. So I imagine they'll keep that. Weapon selection. I don't know if they're gonna be more grounded with weapon selection or not. They got a lot more grounded in GTA 4, but most people, including myself, missed ammunition, so they brought back ammunition and went crazy. I see. Here's where I haven't played in so fucking long. I don't remember if you could get attachments on your guns or not in GTA 5. I want to say you could, but there was a lot of guns in that game. The one thing I don't think you got was a minigun. I don't think, but maybe there was one. But I think that'll be in the game. I think they'll pretty much have almost every gun you could imagine in the fucking game. Some kind of a semi-automatic carbine, some kind of an automatic carbine, probably AR-15 or something. Multiple kinds of pistols, revolvers, submachine guns, micro SMGs, possibly LMGs, minigun and rocket launcher and grenade launchers if they're feeling particularly frisky, grenades, Molotovs, that kind of thing. I don't think they're ever going to get rid of ammunition, especially with how hot a topic gun control is today, because, boy, I get to talk about fucking politics in this video at some point. Yay. I think that's all I have to talk about with gameplay. I predict changes to weather patterns and that affecting driving and the trunk thing, stuff like that. I don't think we're going to see gas. I don't think we're going to see traffic laws. I don't think we're going to see a 10-star system. That just would be a step in the complete wrong direction. Oh, no, there is one more thing I can talk about as far as gameplay. I prefer the more grounded style of a Vice City or Grand Theft Auto 4 to San Andreas or GTA 5 over the top. You can do lots of crazy shit. I loved the Chop Shop in San Andreas. Not because I necessarily need to customize my cars. I just want a way to spend fucking money. Because when you have 300,000 fucking dollars, you no longer really need to do anything. You can do everything and it's just boring. And there's nothing to spend your money on. The Chop Shops gave you a way to just customize and build up your car and do all this fucking shit with it. Put on all kinds of little additives and shit. The nitrous was the only thing that was a bit much. I don't even remember. I think nitrous was in GTA 5, but I think it just made your car faster. It didn't like shoot out of your exhaust like a rocket like it did in San Andreas. Nitrous was a bit much in San Andreas, but it was fun. You almost could never use it because you were guaranteed to flip your fucking car over and blow it up after you just spent all that money on it. So I only ever used nitrous a few times, and usually I would have to reload my save because I would lose my car. But nitrous was fun, just you never really can use it. But in GTA 5, I felt like the car customization, the game in general went kind of crazy, but the car customization especially went crazy. And I'll talk about this. Isn't a prediction thing. This is more of a me thing. Um, Being able to armor your car in theory is nice because you're making a car like hard to destroy. And when you save a car, you kind of want to be able to drive it around, and you don't really want to get it destroyed. But at the same time, if you turn your fucking car into a tank, you're not really being challenged by anything. So having that and having bulletproof glass and all that shit, I'm sure a lot of people liked it, and I understood the reason that they did it, but I wasn't personally a fan just because it took the challenge away from me. If I go on a rampage and my vehicle's armored up and has bulletproof glass and shit, I'm kind of unstoppable. And I guess someone could just say, well, you don't have to do that, but I kind of do if it's an option. Like I said, I need ways to spend the money I've amassed. So for me, just being able to drive through a goddamn blockade of fucking SWAT vans and just smash your way right through them, and your vehicle's fine, and that shit just made the game way too easy for me. It took a lot of challenge out of it. So I always enjoyed doing the rampages in GTA 4 a lot more, where I'm driving and my vehicle gets fucked up and it's shot to hell and it's about to explode and I have to get out, run, get in another vehicle, go on with that one. That was always, would be more of an adrenaline rush to me rather than, haha, I'm a fucking invincible god mode, fuck you, it's just, yeah. But I liked being able to spend my money on stuff like that. Biggest issue with GTA 4, no way to spend your money. After you rob the bank, you're fucking set. And there's no way to ever fucking spend that money. One thing I loved about GTA, Vice City, and San Andreas is buying properties. It was my favorite part of the game because it felt like you were really buying the city and owning it, and you were becoming a big shot. You owned the city. And they tried to bring that back with GTA 5, but it wasn't really the same. You couldn't really, buy fucking houses. You could buy a couple properties and businesses, and they would make you money. But I liked buying the houses and getting the garages and buying the businesses and getting the garages and them giving you money back. And it felt like you were buying important shit that was owning the city. And GTA 5 tried to bring that back, but it just didn't feel the same to me. And GTA 4 didn't have it at all, which I thought was shit. But yeah, I like the car customization. I just don't want the armored shit. I like the more grounded stuff, like I said. I don't need to run across a train and jump from the train to a car, or jump from a car onto the train. I don't need to jump from a train over a fucking river onto a helicopter and shit. Like, that shit's just so ridiculous. I like the more grounded shit. I like the more grounded gameplay of just driving and chasing somebody, and you shoot their tires out, or you shoot the driver and the fucking car wrecks and the guys get out and you just drive up and you shoot them all down. Simple shit. I don't need the fucking crazy drive off the ramp, you're over a goddamn fucking canyon, oh god, you land on the other side just barely and you're chasing them, oh shit, I just went through that with the end of GTA 4 where I had to drive up a ramp on a fucking Sanchez on a beach to land in a fucking Annihilator to go after fucking Pegorino on the boat, and it's like, what the fuck? Why? I fucked it up the first time because I'm trying to shoot Pegorino's boat because it's the first time I ever played it. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you need to hit this ramp. And I was like, oh shit. So I'm trying to fucking turn to get to the ramp, and I fucking hit the edge of the ramp and just fucking went off into the water and fucking had to redo the whole goddamn, well, not the whole mission, but half the fucking mission. I hate shit like that. That just ruins it for me. And every Grand Theft Auto game has that moment. You know, they all have their over the top moments. Vice City has the Scarface and where you're shooting everybody out the mansion. San Andreas. Oh God, you're going after Officer Tenpenny, I think, and he's on a train, and you're chasing him across the train. Or it's OG Loke, or not OG Loke. Papa Smoke is one of them. You're chasing him across the train. Papa Smoke, you kill him in a fucking factory. Like a lot of crazy shit. I just hate shit like that. I don't need that. GTA 4, it's that. And fucking Lost in the Damned, you blow up a fucking the fucking entrance to Alderney Prison and go in and kill fucking Billy and then Balligay Tony. I don't remember a lot of that story, but I know at one point you're in a goddamn golden buzzard blowing up a fucking yacht. And GTA 5 had a lot of moments like the train moment. It's just, I don't need all that. And I like the more grounded gameplay. I don't mind the chop shop. I just don't want to make myself, playing God mode. I want to be able to customize a car, make it look nice, put it in the garage, never touch it again. Customize another one exactly like it and drive that one around. Be able to spend my money. I did have, okay, let me talk about the money thing. I loved in GTA 5 where if you had money on your body and like you died or something, you lost it, so you always had to go and put it in the bank. That made you had to be more responsible with the money. And I think the way you bought properties was like online. So stuff like that was nice. And I would like there to be more ways to lose your money and make it a lot harder to get money. Because when you do the big bank heist and all of a sudden you have fucking $200,000, you're never going to go through that, like I said. You're never going to get through that shit. I think you play the stock market also in GTA 5. There's a lot of shit I didn't do in that game. But I think one thing that'd be really cool is if you get busted, not only do you have to pay like a fine to get out of prison, but like you have to pay like property damages and shit. Only if you get busted. That would be really cool too. Like, because it's so hard to get busted now in these games. The easiest way is if they open the door and draw their gun on you, and you, for whatever reason, won't let you drive. But if you're just standing there, you can run off. I always thought that was stupid. Didn't understand why they did that, but because it's so hard to get busted, I think being forced to pay property damages as an extra incentive not to get caught, along with losing all your shit, I think that would be really cool. That'd be hard to program because you'd have to have a system that would factor in fucking like, hey, you killed this person, here's damages to the family. Hey, you broke 5 light poles. Hey, you crashed into this car. Here's the. But it would be a way to fucking hit someone hard for their fucking money. And my favorite part of Grand Theft Auto is starting off with nothing and working your way up slowly to get money to try to become somebody. And it always bothers me when halfway through the fucking story, your character's still like, oh, I need this money. It's like, motherfucker, you robbed a bank. I have $400,000. What do you mean you need money? It's like the story forgets that you fucking robbed a bank. So I would like to see more ways for you to fucking lose your money and make it harder to get money. And you obviously have to do the big bank heist. That's a staple, I know, but make it so that you fucking make no money until that or something. Or money just, they need to make a lot more ways to hit the player hard for their fucking money. Because I hate getting to the point where I have $300,000 and I'm never going to get through it. I think GTA 5 had too many bank heists. You had like little bank heists to get to the big bank heist. And they were all fun. I just think it was too many bank heists. I'm sure other people disagree. That's just my personal thing. This is me more talking about what I'd like to see rather than what I think we will see. I think we'll see more ways for them to hit us with money, but I'd like to see a lot. I'd like to see a lot of like getting fines or taxes or something like that. That'd be the only good thing about speeding tickets and like traffic shit is for them to add it in as ways to hit you with money. But like I said, it'd just be too obnoxious. Okay, now I think I am officially out of. Talked about more grander gameplay. Talked about money. So now I think I can move on to the story. And setting. Story and characters, rather. So if it is in Vice City, imagine there's going to be a lot of references to GTA Vice City. There wasn't a lot of references in GTA 5 to San Andreas that I noticed. The most obvious one is Franklin going to whack CJ, and CJ isn't there. But they sure as hell did a lot with the past GTA games in GTA 5, and I was not a fan. I love Grand Theft Auto. I love the stories. I love the characters, and for whatever reason, for me, GTA 5 felt like it hated the legacy of Grand Theft Auto because it just took a shit on like everything that came before it. My favorite character in the whole game franchise is Laszlo Jones. My favorite playable character is Tommy Vercetti, followed by CJ, and then Johnny Klebitz. So you can already see where this is going with fucking two of my favorite characters being fucking Laszlo and Johnny Klebitz. Yeah. And I also love Fist also. So, yeah. I don't know why GTA 5 just felt like it hated the legacy. Ever since GTA 3 and Vice City, they've been fucking with Laszlo for whatever reason. They wanted to take him into like this washed up celebrity thing. But he kind of just sucks in that role. He can still be funny, but it's not really funny. I don't know who was asking for him to play a fucking sex offender. A creepy sex offender. It's not good. What was funny was him on fucking Chatterbox in GTA 3. Playing the straight man to everyone else who's fucking crazy in the game. He has all these fucking batshit crazy callers. Which, you know, that's the staple of Grand Theft Auto. Everyone's fucking crazy. To have one sane voice in the whole fucking thing. Laszlo. Just playing the straight man to all these crazy motherfuckers. That shit was so funny because he has a sarcastic tone. It's so goddamn funny. And he's funny on V-Rock too. You just didn't get a lot of him because his fucking rock station. I didn't find out about the talk show in San Andreas. It didn't occur to me that Laszlo was going to be on a talk show until like I was almost done with the game. So I barely ever heard his segment, and his segment was like one of many. So I've like heard it a few times, and he like had a co-host, and it just was hard for me to get into it. So I don't know if that was the beginning of them taking a different direction with him, but in GTA 4, they just turned him into a fucking weirdo. For whatever reason, they took him in the washed-up celebrity, out-of-touch angle where he's a creep, and he's doing all... It's such a contrast to fucking Chatterbox. And I didn't like it. I don't like that angle. It doesn't work because he's now just a... He doesn't have a foil. He's just a nut amongst nuts. Nothing more clear than... when when he's talking to the fucking dude, and the dude's sitting there and he's beating off and shit. And Laszlo, it's the only funny segment because fucking Laszlo's playing straight and he's like, hey man, can you just not beat off right here while I'm here? That shit's fucking funny. But then they'll go and they'll just go back to him being a fucking weirdo. In another segment. He's just talking about, you know, fucking rubbing his dick in his pants and shit. And it's just, like, Integrity's still funny because it's Laszlo, but that direction just wasn't funny. And then on GTA 5, I don't remember if he was on the radio. I know he was on the TV on something. I barely ever watched the TV in the Grand Theft Auto games. The most I ever watched it was Republican Space Rangers. That shit was funny. But other than that, I'm not going to watch the TV in-game that much. I'm rarely ever that bored that I want to watch the TV on TV of the game I'm playing, you know? If I'm eating or something, sure, but yeah. So I don't know. I watched some of Laszlo's segment, I think, once. I heard a radio ad for him in GTA 5 a few times. But I never really got to see what they did with him outside of the mission where you beat the fuck out of him. And I hated that mission. Because he's fucking with Michael's underage daughter. He's like, hey, man, it's just... It's a horrible direction to take the character. A horrible direction. Because now he's just one of many characters. He's no longer unique. He's no longer the straight man amongst foils. He's just a fucking weirdo amongst all the other fucking weirdos. And it's just so crude and so disrespectful to beat the character up in game. And speaking of that, now I'm going to get into fucking Johnny Klevitz. When I first saw the commercial for GTA 5, I fell in love, like everyone else, with Trevor's character because he looked fucking crazy. And it was going to be so much fun to play this fucking wacky, does whatever he wants character. And, you know, the first thing you see is him fucking some broad in his house. And I wanted to like him. I wanted to be like, oh, this is so cool. But I already felt weird about it. I was like, what is going on here? This is funny. What the fuck? I already felt weird about it. I already knew something was wrong. And then there's a bald guy yelling at Trevor, and there's a guy trying to stop him. And Trevor comes outside, and he starts talking to the guy. And the guy's telling him not to fuck his girlfriend. And, you know, Trevor starts doing some stuff, and then he starts talking to him, and then he hits him in the back of the head with a beer ball and stomps his brains out. And I wanted to like it. I wanted to get into it. And something in me felt wrong and felt weird. And I was like, I don't know about this. And then I followed the bikers back. Or I went to find the bikers. And I noticed it was Clay and Terry. And I was like, wait a minute. And he was like, where's Johnny? And I was like, no. And then Trevor said, oh, some of his brain's on the bottom of my boot. And my fucking heart just dropped because I was like, they just killed off fucking Johnny Klevitz, the best written character they ever fucking made. He had such an emotional fucking story. At the age of, 9 or 10 when I played it? Or 11 or something. I was so fucking touched by his story. It felt so emotional. It was about brotherhood. He overcame fucking meth, crystal meth, addiction to crystal meth. By the end of the story, you know, he's dealt with all his shit. So many of his fucking friends have died. He had to kill his best friend from, I think, childhood. And Ashley, who he cares about, she's addicted to crystal meth. She calls him and wants to get back together with him at the end of the game, and he tells her, no, you have a problem, and I'm not going to stick around for your problem. And I felt like, man, how can you do that? How can you ban her? And then I sat on and I was like, well, he's right. She's not going to get better, and he's just trying to do what's best for him. And it's also going to be better for her because she won't have someone enabling her. And I just felt it was a story that touched me. I was so invested in it that when I got to the end of the game, and you get into the prison, and you find Billy, and he's beaten like a guard to death with a pipe. And he looked up and saw Johnny's face. And his, like, eyes go wide and his mouth opens. Before he could say a word, I just fucking shot him in the head and ended it because I felt like I was just so done with his shit, with everything he had done. I felt so emotionally exhausted that I didn't want to hear what Billy said. And to this day, I have no idea what they say or if there's... I'm assuming there's an execution at that point and a whole dialogue you can go through, but I don't know what it was. And I don't care because I was just so emotionally invested in that story that I didn't want to hear Billy say anything. I just wanted it to be over. And it felt cathartic for Johnny to get his revenge after all that shit. And to see him move on and be strong and overcome meth and overcome dependency on Ashley, dependency on the meth, overcome all of that to just, live his own life. And then in Grand Theft Auto 5, they revert all of that. To just have him go back to being a crystal meth addict, and his girlfriend's getting fucked by Trevor, and then Trevor fucking just kills him. What kind of a fucking... If someone's struggling with drug addiction and they're playing your fucking game, what kind of a fucking message does that send to them? Hey, motherfucker, it's hopeless. No matter how far you come, you're just going to become addicted to fucking drugs again, and someone's going to fucking kill you. Like, come the fuck on. Someone could do better than that. And then he punch out Willie's fucking tooth from Love Fist. Why? Why? Who's asking to fucking fuck with these older characters? Who's getting all... It's like the series director came in, see what everyone else did, was jealous that he couldn't do it as good, so he just wanted to shit on all the work other people did, is what it felt like. It's just horrible. In a world as big as the world, to fucking run into another fucking protagonist. And then to kill them. Fucking horrible. Johnny wanted to take the loss in a new direction, and now they're selling meth. And you're killing them all, and fuck them all. Oh, man. And when I realized that that Trevor had just killed Johnny Klebitz, I let Clay and Terry get away, and I went from wanting to play Trevor, and I can't wait to play Trevor, to just not wanting to play Trevor. And not wanting to play GTA 5. I didn't want to play the fucking game anymore, and I did. And I've fucking finished the story and stuff, but I wasn't emotionally invested anymore. I didn't care. Because it felt like the game just spit in my face for enjoying all of the things that had come before it. Everything I liked about it, just... No, I'll fuck that all that shit. It's just so weird. It's so weird that they did that. And I say all that to say that I really hope GTA 6 goes in a different direction. I hope that they don't bring back any old characters. They can reference them all they want. You can have news stories about them. Let us know what the canonical story of GTA 5 is, but don't bring back old characters just to disrespect them. I've always been worried about Tommy Vercetti. I don't want them to fucking have you kill off Tommy Vercetti or anything like that. I love Tommy Vercetti. He's my favorite playable character. But with the direction they're going, that's what it seems like. They're just going to have you fucking kill him off or something. Be disrespectful in some way. And it just shouldn't be like that. I mean, thank God they didn't kill off Carl Johnson. You don't play through these characters' stories just to find out that they end in such a shit way, Makes it feel like all the effort you went through with them was meaningless. And it's so disrespectful to the story that someone else wrote for that character. It's disrespectful to the player. It's disrespectful for anyone who is emotionally invested in it. So I hope they just don't do that. I hope they don't touch it. I hope they leave Laszlo alone. Just turn him back into a straight man. Stop making him this fucking washed up celebrity thing. It's not funny. No. I'm sure some people get a kick out of it, but no one who's played all the games and is invested in the stories of Grand Theft Auto likes it. Because most people like Laszlo. Most people would agree Chatterbox is the best fucking of Laszlo. And that's because he's playing a straight man to the foil of Liberty City. So just bring it back to that. Be nice. And I think with Laszlo, they're going to probably take him in like a Joe Rogan angle where he's going to have like Laszlo Jones is going to be like a podcast legend or something. He'll be doing podcasts. And you can probably listen into the podcasts on the computer or on your phone or something in game. I imagine that's what it's going to be. As far as your character, this is where you just don't know where it's going to go. Rockstar, like so many other things in entertainment, are getting more and more political all the time. Red Dead Redemption 2 in particular had a lot of stuff. And I was like, what, 15, 16 when I played GTA 5, so I don't know how much political shit was in that. I'm sure there was a lot that just went over my head, but when I was replaying GTA 4, I noticed a lot of political shit. It's funny how a game from, 2007, so many topics are still talked about today. There was a lot of transgender and transsexual stuff. There was a lot of, there was a fucking segment where someone was talking about women being equal to men, and it's like, god damn, these conversations have been around for so fucking long, and they're still a topic of conversation today. Like, some of it feels so old, and then some of it just feels like it's something that is relevant today. And it's like, what the fuck? But I imagine those topics will still be talked about in game. I'm sure gun control is going to be a big one in game. It gets brought up a lot. But as far as your character is concerned, I don't think we're going to see an outright female character for the game. Not yet. Might, but I don't think we'll see that just yet. If they have a DLC, I could see a female character for a DLC. I think you'll either play like a... We have Luis Lopez in the Ballad of Gay Tony, so... I think they might, I don't know, they might do like a Cuban or, well... Was Luis Lopez a Puerto Rican? I think it was Puerto Rican. I think they'll do some kind of a Hispanic character. If it's like a guy. Or they'll do like an androgynous character that's like with short hair and earrings and stuff. And they're kind of overweight. So you won't really be able to tell if they're female or male. And they'll have like some kind of a androgynous name. That, I think, is a high possibility. Rather than a female character, I think they would take a leap and go androgynous. Now, how that would play into the game, I don't know, because they love to have their prostitutes and stuff and the strip clubs. So, playing a female character alone would change that whole situation. Picking up fucking hookers or going to a strip club or something. But even playing an androgynous character would kind of be weird with that. I don't think they'll have you play a gay character yet either. I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. Because in Ballad of Gay Tony, you had the fucking gay strip club. I don't know if there have to be male escorts in the world, but I don't know. I don't think men stand on street corners. So maybe if you have like an online escort service and you can hire men for your gay character or your female character, But otherwise, it'd be weird. It'd be weird if you're androgynous to fucking pick up strippers or be in strip or buy a prostitute or go to a strip club. That whole thing's just gonna be weird. But I see a strong possibility that they would do a fucking androgynous character, or just some kind of a fucking Hispanic male. I don't know. But yeah, I think there's a strong possibility of that. And I'm sure there's going to be some transgender or transsexual acquaintances you make. You'll be the most progressive fucking person in the world in the Grand Theft Auto world, because you'll just have your friends will be multi fucking cultural, and you'll be super inclusive, just like fucking Dutch's gang in the fucking 1890s. You know, Dutch had a black dude, half black, half Native American dude, a Mexican dude, a fucking black woman. He was like the most progressive-minded fucking dude in the 1890s. And goddamn, if he was more concerned about living life and survival rather than being progressive, he might have fucking lived through the whole story. But, you know. So I think that'll probably be the thing. They'll probably push for that a lot. A lot of your acquaintances and stuff will be like that. For Vice City, you'd expect a lot of them to be Hispanic. Cuban particularly, I think, would be the big one. But I don't know. You have the Jamaican gang and the Cuban gang in Vice City, and they'd always fucking shoot at each other. I don't know how would the gang thing change? Yeah, a lot of questions about that. In Vice City, you fight the Forellis out of Vice City, and you either destroy the Cuban gang or destroy the Jamaican gang. I have no idea if there's going to still be multiple gangs, or if there's going to be one dominant gang. What about the biker bar and the biker gang? I have no idea. But there should be a strong Cuban presence and a strong Hispanic presence in that game, I think. I just thought of one thing. Gameplay related, you might have a smart self-driving cars. That'd be kind of shit. Why would you want to play a game if you had a self-driving car? What'd be the point? Nah, they wouldn't do that. That'd be stupid. But Laszlo talked about that. Talked about androgynous character. I don't know. Did I have anything else to say about my predictions for it? I said a lot of what I wanted to, anyways. I'm not sure if we'll see older characters make a return or not. I just really hope we don't. I just want to be told, taking on a new story. Oh, one thing I did want to talk about. For GTA 5, the ending I got was the ending where everyone survives, but I think, from my perspective, it seems like Michael is really the protagonist of GTA 5. Franklin and Trevor are more acquaintances of him. He's the big shot. He kind of made all the decisions, so I think the canon ending will probably be that Franklin and Trevor are dead and Michael lived and he's with his family. And I don't know what that ending is because I didn't do it and I never replayed GTA 5. I just beat it the one time and barely played it at all after that. But that's probably going to be what it is. Or if they continue the trend from GTA 5 of disrespecting older characters, you'll find out that Trevor and Franklin are dead and fucking Michael's wife left him and he ended up a fucking bum on the streets. And then you find him as a homeless bum in fucking Vice City and you'll just shoot him in the head because, of course. Something like that. But I think the canon ending's probably going to be that Trevor and Franklin are dead. And he betrayed them to save his family or something. That seems like a very Grand Theft Auto thing to do. Where it's like dark, and it's sad for some of the people, but hey, there's kind of a happy ending. Yeah, I'm not sure that there's anything else I have to say here. I really wish that I would have been able to fucking drive a Mambatsu Thunder or my Batsu Monstrosity in Grand Theft Auto. That would have been cool. Goddamn, made commercials advertising them and then nothing ever happened with them. Oh, radio stations. Do you think they'll get rid of radio stations? Or they might have like a Sirius XM style of thing? I don't know. That'd be weird. That'd be a thing to look at. Because radio stations are kind of gone. I think the podcast thing is strong. You'll definitely be able to play podcasts off your phone while you're driving. Maybe even move it into the speakers of your car somehow. As far as music, though, they get a lot of mileage out of the DJs and the commercials and stuff. So if you can just play, like, if they have, like, pre-loaded fucking songs on your phone and stuff, and preloaded stuff in podcasts for you to listen to rather than radios at all, it'd get rid of a lot of what they rely on. Same thing with TV being kind of dead. A lot of they're gonna have to have something like YouTube. I think they had something like YouTube in the Grand Theft Auto 5, but again, I didn't hardly use it. But I think you're gonna see something strong, some podcasting shit, maybe some kind of a GTA Spotify, some kind of a GTA YouTube. I think that's where a lot of the stuff is gonna be at online. You know, be big focus on that shit. I have no idea if they went like a Spotify route. You'd have to have like pre-created playlists to choose from for your like your rock, your rap, your hip hop, your jazz, your classical music, your fucking I don't know what else. Popular shit. And I can't speak to the future of GTA Online because I barely ever played GTA Online. I have probably less than 20 hours in GTA Online. It was big on the over-the-top shit, and that was just never my cup of tea, like I said. Flying in an atomic blimp is cool, but it's not doing much for me. I think they'll continue the over-the-top shit. I think you'll probably still be able to customize your cars and stuff. Don't like that. I am very curious, because Vice City was such a small map, if they will expand it. Personally, I prefer that they don't, and they just make businesses and buildings more accessible. Because I've always wanted like a sandbox city where I can go in every building and explore every inch of it and stuff. But I don't know that they would do that. They'd probably just make the city larger, and then, like, you know, you can get in what you get in. Oh, I just had another idea. Instead of fucking having a phone call with somebody, you might have like a FaceTime call where you're looking at your phone at the motherfucker and they're talking to you on the phone. That'd be something, and they're like moving around in game on the phone. That'd be some wacky shit. I mean, I don't know. They're gonna have a lot they can do with this. It's gonna be a very different feel, very different game. I don't know what they'll bring back. In GTA 5, I don't remember if you could hang out with people like in GTA 4. I want to say you couldn't. And I don't think there was ever dates to go on either. Oh, fuck, I'm forgetting the biggest thing about GTA 5, the goddamn... that I wanted to bring up. I knew there was something else to talk about. The swapping between fucking characters thing. Oh, God, I'm just fucked up. Okay. I was thinking about this just recently, playing through the Niko Bellic story. One of the biggest issues for me in GTA 5, one of the biggest things that's a disconnect, is you are not a character. You aren't Niko Bellic. You're not Johnny Clements. You're not Tommy Vercetti. You're not Carl Johnson. You're the player. And you're the player because you have three characters you're playing as. You're playing as Franklin or Trevor or Michael. And because you can swap between them at any time, you're never playing just one. You're playing all three. And you can't get invested in any of them. You can't identify as them. You're not them. You're just taking them through their bit of the story, you know? You take every minute of the day as Niko Bellic, crawling, clawing your way up through the slums of the city, dealing with all this bullshit to just try and let Niko have a decent life. You take Tommy Vercetti from being a fucking bum on the streets who just got fucked out of a deal to having to come up and be the biggest shot in Vice City. Place isn't even home. His home was Liberty City. Luis Lopez, again, I played that story with my cousin, and he was never big on stories, so I don't know his story that well. But he was already pretty well off, so there was never like a big get money here thing with him. And there was a continued GTA 5. Franklin is a nobody on the streets, but Michael's already wealthy. He has his big house, he has a car, he's got a family. You don't need to do anything as Michael. You already are kind of at the top of Los Santos. You don't need to try that hard. Trevor doesn't have shit, but he doesn't want shit. He doesn't give a fuck. So Franklin's the only person to kind of try with, but you're not Franklin. You're the character. Or you're the player, rather. So I think that was where a big disconnect was for me. I didn't feel like I was a nobody coming up on the streets, struggling to become somebody. I felt like I was just the player. I'm playing each character, their bit of the story. So that was where a big disconnect was for me. And I like that in Red Dead Redemption 2, you're just Arthur Morgan. And you get to be Arthur Morgan and play as Arthur Morgan. I wish there was more dialogue there, but whatever. So, yeah, I think we'll go back to being just one person, and we'll play that one person and follow the story, and you'll get to be them. And I think I'll probably like GTA 6 more than 5 if we do that, because we'll be able to invest in the character and become the character, you know, take them through their story. I hope they continue to like make choices, and the choices can affect outcome of the story thing. I always love that in games. I like dialogue options. With Red Dead 2, it's kind of shit. You have great and antagonize. Yeah, you can be in the middle of a conversation and you just have greet or antagonize, and you have greet, and then Arthur will just respond to something someone do, and he's like, "Well then," and it's like, that's neither a greet nor a response, motherfucker. Pretty fucking lazy dialogue options, but hey, the fucking game is massive, so I understand. But I think they'll do better in Vice City or in GTA 6 for that. I would hope so, anyways, for more dialogue options. I don't want to leave anything unfucking said here. Uh, I don't know. I kind of said everything I think that I want to. That I need to. I don't know. Maybe they'll bring back the character stats from San Andreas. I want to say that stats were in GTA 5, but I don't remember. Because in San Andreas, you could do like the workout and get really muscular, or you could get really fat. It'd be cool if they brought that back. They kind of have that a little bit in Red Dead, where like Arthur Morgan's hair will grow and his beard will grow up to a certain point, and you can take care of yourself. And if you get shot up, you'll be all bloody. But if you get in the water, the blood will wash off and stuff like that. So I could see them doing something like that with your character. But man, I really don't know. Oh yeah, the hunger thing. Oh shit, that hunger thing, and the hunger, the stamina, and stuff, and Red Dead 2. I wonder if they'll do something like that for fucking Grand Theft Auto 6. That'd be kind of out there, making you have to eat all the time in the game and sleep all the time in the game. I wonder if sleeping will still be how you save. I doubt it. It's really impractical. Have to go to a certain place to fucking save. That kind of can be a lot of times. Oh, saving cars. They have to. I'm pretty sure you had garages in GTA 5, and that was the biggest issue with GTA 4 was the goddamn parking spaces on the streets. That shit. I don't know who the fuck came up with that, especially when they had the garages still, where like they would open and close, but you just don't get one. Oh man, that was awful. They absolutely have to have garages still for vehicles to save. Yeah. Fucking house noises. Yeah, I think Although what I just talked about is what we can expect from GTA 6. High customization. Did they bring back tattoos in GTA 5? I don't even remember. I never got tattoos for Carl Johnson. I don't remember if they brought them back for GTA 5 or not. I never got them if they did, that I remember. You probably have tattoos. You probably have clothing. Really hope you can order vehicles online and stuff, because they advertise vehicles online in GTA 4 and you can't order them, and it fucking sucks. And I don't think you can order them in 5 either. Maybe you could, I don't remember, but they gotta find ways to get goddamn money out of your goddamn bank account in that game. And hopefully there's DLC, but you know, love their online shit, don't they? I don't know. On the topic of the older games, though, hopefully at some point we'll get like a remastered series of the GTA 3 games. I would love remastered GTA 3, GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas. I don't want remakes. I'd like them to be like the same story and the same setting and the same map and layout, just updated graphics and stuff. Same voice acting. Just a cleaner, sleeker look to the game. I wouldn't even mind if it was the same gameplay. A lot of people wouldn't like that. They would want the more modern style gameplay, but I wouldn't mind that at all. I would almost prefer it because I like driving the fucking vehicles before they fucking slid and slept around and crashed into everything, but it's just me. I did hear like 5 years ago, 6 years ago maybe, from someone that Rockstar bought the rights to put real vehicles into the game, like the real vehicle companies or something, or they paid Rockstar to sponsor them. I don't think that's true, and I was told that like almost a fucking decade ago. I'm pretty sure that information was wrong. I don't think it was based on anything, and that was before fucking Red Dead Redemption 2 was even considered a thing. There's no fucking way that GTA. I don't see that happening. I don't know the whole like thing about having like actual stuff and things like that. I don't know the copyright and the advertising and all. I don't understand all of that, but I do know that Rockstar likes to take the piss out of everything and criticize companies and corporations and shit. And they wouldn't be allowed to criticize car companies if the car companies were sponsored by them, or they had like the actual vehicles in the game. So I don't see that happening, because they could fucking absolutely just say Miami and New York City and Los Angeles, but then they can't criticize those places as freely and openly because, hey, so I don't see that being a thing. I don't think they're gonna have real companies at all. So I think that information's wrong. I think a lot of my predictions are right. I think they'll keep it grounded within reason, but they're not gonna go crazy and make it a real life simulator because no one's gonna play a goddamn real life simulator. Like I said, the point of Grand Theft Auto is it's a cathartic release of what we can't do in a day when we're just pissed off and losing our fucking minds in society. So you can go into fake society and be a chaotic maniac and just get it out of your system. Because it's not real, it's just a fucking video game. And you'll be taking on a fucking story of someone coming up to be somebody and enjoy that shit. That's all I have to say about Grand Theft Auto 6. I don't think I'm gonna make any more Grand Theft Auto related videos. But I just want to make this one since I just got done playing GTA 4 and was hit with a load of nostalgia. Grand Theft Auto is one of my favorite video game franchises, so I was just hit by a wave of nostalgia playing that and just really wanted to talk about my thoughts for GTA 6 and express my feelings about GTA 5 also. It's the one fucking game where, like, I didn't play it a lot. I played Vice City and fucked around a lot. I played San Andreas and fucked around a lot. I didn't really fuck around in GTA 3. I fucked around a lot in GTA 4, more than any other game. I'm sure I've played GTA 4 more than any other game. Hundreds of hours of just fucking driving around, having police chase me, getting shootouts, fighting the police for 30 minutes in a building or something. I didn't do that in GTA 5. I just focused on the story and I was done playing it like within, I want to say, 3 months. I did fuck around some, just not as much. I didn't enjoy as much. I really, really hope I enjoy GTA 6. If I have time to play it. Who knows where I'm going to be by the time it comes out. But, hey. We'll just have to see.